The man-child is a significant figure in biblical prophecy, central to end-time events. Prophecies, such as in Isaiah 66:7, foretell the birth of this man-child. Revelation 12:5 describes the man-child being caught up to the throne. This event occurs before Earth experiences its final period of intense tribulation. The concept of the man-child is central to this prophetic event. This figure is depicted as ascending to the Ancient of Days. The ascension signifies a crucial moment of transition and authority. The man-child receives the kingdom, as detailed in Daniel 7:13. This biblical passage describes a transfer of ultimate authority. The event marks the establishment of a new reign and dominion. The concept of sevenfold light signifies a profound spiritual illumination. This event is described as an ascension, marking a significant spiritual advancement. It is directly linked to a prophecy found in the biblical text of Isaiah 30-26. The day of sevenfold light represents the fulfillment of this ancient prophecy. A vision depicts a celestial throne radiating intense light. This brilliance is described as shining with the intensity of 7 suns. This imagery directly references the prophecy found in Isaiah 30-26. The scripture foretells a future day when the sun's light will be 7 times brighter. The concept of being caught up is linked to an anomalous birth prophecy. This anomaly is referenced in Isaiah 66:7. The scripture states, "Before she travailed, she brought forth." It continues, "Before her pain came, she was delivered of a man-child." This passage describes a birth occurring without the usual labor or pain. The man-child, identified as the prince, Michael, is a key figure in this prophecy. This figure is prophesied to be removed from earth. This removal occurs prior to the onset of the Great Tribulation. The Great Tribulation is also known as the travail in prophetic texts. The concept of divine elevation is a significant theme within biblical prophecy. Revelation 12:5 explicitly describes a removal event. This event is characterized as being caught up unto God. The destination is further specified as to his throne. This passage indicates a direct, divine ascension to God's presence and authority. The man-child is positioned for future rule through an ascent before the Ancient of Days. This ascent is a crucial preparatory stage in a prophetic timeline. The positioning occurs prior to the commencement of earthly chaos. It signifies the establishment of authority before widespread global disorder. John 3:13 introduces a fundamental principle concerning ascension to heaven. This scripture states, "No man hath ascended up to heaven." It establishes a strict limitation on who can achieve heavenly ascent. The passage continues, "But he that came down from heaven." This refers exclusively to the Son of Man, identifying a unique origin. Thus, the law of ascension is presented as exclusive to the divine Son of Man. The concept of ascension to the throne is central to identity confirmation. This ascension specifically confirms identity within the Son of Man lineage. The principle states that only those who have descended can ascend. Therefore, ascension serves as a definitive validation of one's origin and identity. The concept outlines a spiritual lineage concerning the inheritance of a divine title and kingdom. Jesus, identified as the sixth spirit, descended to establish this specific title. Following his descent, Jesus then ascended, solidifying the title's establishment. Michael, designated as the seventh spirit or prince, is prophesied to stand up. Daniel 12:1. This act signifies Michael's ascension to inherit both the established title and the kingdom. The concept of the sevenfold sun is a prophetic vision from ancient texts. It describes an extraordinary intensification of light, far beyond normal perception. Specifically, it refers to a throne shining like unto 7 suns. This imagery is a direct visual manifestation of Isaiah 30-26. In this prophecy, the light of the sun is described as becoming sevenfold. The concept of sevenfold light represents a profound concentration of time and light. This concentration signifies the compression of creation's entire week into a single moment. It embodies a singular moment of glory, intensely radiant and powerful. This radiant glory emanates directly from the Ancient of Days, a source of ultimate origin. Thus, the sevenfold light symbolizes a divine convergence of temporal and luminous energies. The concept of the throne encompasses profound symbolic meanings, reflecting divine attributes. A key visual element is the rainbow radiating off of it, which synthesizes 2 distinct natures. One nature of the throne is represented by fire, symbolizing divine judgment and purification. This fire signifies the ultimate authority and righteous wrath associated with the throne. The other nature is embodied by the rainbow, signifying divine covenant and promise. The rainbow represents God's faithfulness, mercy, and the enduring bond with humanity. The biblical text of Daniel 7:10 describes a profound vision of divine authority and judgment. Central to this vision is the imagery of a fiery stream emanating from a celestial presence. This fiery stream is explicitly depicted as issuing from before him, referring to the Ancient of Days. It symbolizes an act of divine judgment, particularly directed towards the beast figure. The fire represents the punitive and purifying aspect inherent in the nature of the divine throne. Thus, the fiery stream signifies the execution of justice and the consequence of transgression. Revelation 4:3 describes a profound celestial vision. It depicts a rainbow round about the throne of God. This rainbow symbolizes a divine covenant. The covenant is specifically for the bride, representing the church. It signifies God's unwavering faithfulness and promises. The rainbow also reveals another aspect of the throne's majestic nature. Michael stands before the throne, a pivotal moment in prophetic fulfillment. He is destined to receive dominion and glory, as foretold in Daniel 7:14. This reception signifies the transfer of ultimate authority and honor. These attributes are essential for the establishment of the divine kingdom. The prophecy details the establishment of a divine kingdom on earth. This establishment is contingent upon the reception of dominion and glory. The kingdom is specifically associated with the 144,000 individuals. This group is central to the prophetic vision of the kingdom's manifestation. The kingdom's presence on earth is symbolized by the blue orbs. These blue orbs represent the conceptual and physical manifestation of the kingdom. Scriptural texts describe 4 seraphim positioned around God's throne. These seraphim are conceptually identified with the 4 horsemen. The 4 horsemen are figures of divine judgment or action. Furthermore, these entities are linked to the chariots mentioned in the book of Zechariah chapter 6. This interpretation suggests a connection between celestial beings and divine conveyances. In the book of Revelation, a sequence of events unfolds involving seals and seraphim. An angel, identified as a seraphim, plays a pivotal role in these events. For each of the first 4 seals, the seraphim utters the command, "Come and see." This command initiates the breaking of each seal. Upon the breaking of each of these first 4 seals, a horseman or chariot is released. These releases signify the unfolding of specific prophetic judgments or events. The seraphim are described in Scripture as beings full of eyes. This imagery suggests a profound and multifaceted nature, beyond simple physical form. They are conceptually understood as compositions of thousands of individual angels. These seraphim function as the divine chariots, as depicted in the book of Zechariah chapter 6. The concept of the first 4 seals is rooted in scriptural interpretations. These seals symbolically represent the sealing of the first 4 spirits of God. This sealing signifies a divine endowment or consecration. A parallel can be drawn to the Spirit of God resting upon Jesus. Similarly, the Spirit of God also rested upon Michael, the archangel. This indicates a transfer or presence of divine power and authority. The 5th Spirit of God is a conceptual entity within theological frameworks. It is primarily associated with the fervent pleading and prayers of the saints. This spirit embodies divine memory and the principle of justice. It is often depicted as waiting under the altar, signifying its sacred and anticipatory role. The concept of divine wrath is a significant element within theological scriptures. This wrath is depicted as being held in check by 4 cherubim. These cherubim are identified as 4 angels positioned at the 4 corners of the earth. They embody the manifestation of the 6th Spirit, a powerful spiritual entity. Their role is to restrain the wrath until all of God's elect are sealed. The concept of the 7th Spirit is central to specific prophetic scriptures. This entity is depicted as initiating a series of significant events. Specifically, the 7th Spirit triggers the sounding of the 7 trumpets. These 7 trumpets are directly connected to the prophecy of the 7 thunders. The combined actions of the trumpets and thunders symbolize a period of ultimate divine judgment. This sequence signifies the culmination of prophetic events leading to a final reckoning. Zechariah 6-5 describes the 4 spirits of the heavens. These spirits are identified as high-ranking angelic entities. They are depicted as being sent directly from God. Their role is to execute divine will and judgment. The living creatures represent the commanders or voice within an angelic body. The horsemen symbolize the chariots or action of this unified angelic entity. Together, they function as a single angelic body, orchestrating divine operations. The phrase "come and see" activates and releases a specific attribute of the Spirit. The concept of seal progression is central to understanding specific divine actions within Scripture. It describes a sequence of events initiated by the opening or breaking of seals. Each open seal corresponds to the release or sealing of spiritual operations on earth. These operations are directly linked to the Spirit's influence and activity. The progression of seals signifies a structured unfolding of divine will. This mechanism initiates specific, predetermined divine actions and their earthly manifestations. In Scripture, horsemen are understood as divine vehicles, often represented by angels or chariots. These entities serve as instruments for divine action and intervention. The seal represents the authorization for these horsemen to commence their mission. This authorization signifies a specific Spirit of God resting upon them, activating their purpose. The ram's horn, known as the Shofar, holds profound conceptual significance in Scripture. It is distinguished from metal trumpets by its unique material and symbolic meaning. The Shofar is conceptually linked to the seven spirits, representing spiritual power. Its sound symbolizes redemption, specifically achieved through sacrificial blood. The blowing of the shofar also signifies the declaration of Jubilee. Jubilee represents a time of liberation, restoration, and freedom. The concept of Earth's reclamation is a significant theological idea. It posits that the blowing of 7 shofars by 7 angels serves as a legal declaration. This declaration signifies the earth, metaphorically referred to as the property, is returning. It returns to its original owner, which is understood to be God. This event conceptually marks the definitive end of the current world system. The biblical narrative in Joshua 6 describes a significant event involving a collective shout. This shout by the people of Israel led to the miraculous destruction of the walls of Jericho. This act symbolizes divine intervention and the power of collective faith or command. In the book of Revelation, a similar concept reappears as the 7 thunders. The 7 thunders are interpreted as a powerful, divine pronouncement, signifying final judgment or revelation. The concept of an archangel's voice is deeply rooted in theological text. It is often associated with significant divine events and interventions. 1 Thessalonians 4:16 explicitly mentions this powerful sound. The scripture states, "The Lord himself shall descend with the voice of the archangel." This passage links the archangel's voice directly to the return of the Lord. It signifies a moment of profound divine presence and ultimate authority. The sounding of the 7th angel in Revelation 11:15 marks a pivotal moment in biblical prophecy. This event signifies the commencement of God's direct reign and the establishment of his kingdom. Following this, a shout is initiated by Michael, identified as the prince. This shout is a divine act, releasing the final Spirit of God onto the earth. Specifically, it unleashes the spirit of the fear of the Lord, a profound spiritual force. The release of this spirit directly leads to the ultimate establishment of the kingdom of God.